Hello everyone, welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming Club. Without us, they never feel like winners. Without them, we could look so good. So again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, and we were getting ready for Buckeyes a little bit. I really had like 2 or 3 practice games before this big major tournament. And again, it was 102 people. I was just blown away by the easygoingness, camaraderie, because I used to be a tournament player way back in the day. And I don't know if it was like just the personality of the Northeast region or anything like that, because again, we're based out of Philadelphia. We pelted Santa Claus with ice, snowballs, and batteries, and we cheered. So, but it's like went out there and it was just such a good group. I couldn't to Jeff who ran the event and to everyone else involved. Just thank you so much for for making it so that we all the players had a great time. I got to hang out with Chaihammer. I got to hang out with Skaven and AZ or Vampire and AZ, depending on how you want to look at it, since he was running his Vamps. But again, it's like the Nick Reap and just a great group of individuals. So we're now sitting at game 3, and it's now going to be Highborn Elves versus my Stumpy Brigade Dwarven Holds. So you have my list at this point. I was on the first episode for the Buckeye Battles Game 1. Both of us have had 2 big wins, or he may. I think he had actually. I think he had either two medium wins, or he had a big win and a small win, whatever. So we're sitting just above middle of the pack. In which case, I'm sitting at 20. I'm sitting at 31 going into game 3, and I believe he was roughly the same. So again, it's going to be Highborn Elves versus Dwarven Holds, and I forget this gentleman's name. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was the last guy I played was Mike Smith. Jay. His name was Jay. Oh my God. And he was a great guy, great opponent, and to play against. I really like his list. Let me pull up his list here real quick. So he has his Prince, the Royal Hunt with the Dragon Helm, the Supreme Shielding, Divine Icon, Lion Chariot, and this is me getting my games confused. He puts his Chariot in with the unit of 6 Highborn Lancers. I'm like, you can do that? Yes, of course you can. No, it's a chariot. Wow, I didn't think you could join chariots to units. It's a character. Just because a chariot can't, it's nothing about a character. Character can join. So I'm like, that's brilliant. So very happy to see that. Lord of the Seas. So he's got a level 4 out of Alchemy. He's got Citizen Archers. He's got 27 Spears of the Relentless Company, and his Swordmasters, I believe, had the Flaming Banner, though I forgot to mark it on here. He has 2 Giant Eagles, the 7 Knights of Rima, which were kitted out, so they hit you. They had Devastating Charge and Thunderous Charge. They would rip through things. He's got 3 Reapers to keep anybody honest and to whittle things down so his units can go ahead and deal with them. And it was counter thrust. So each person would place a unit, or was it counter thrust this game? No, this wasn't counter thrust this game. This was capture the flags, and I believe it was that attacker defender scenario. So I chose to be the attacker. I chose to be the defender, whichever one had the higher middle one. And this is I ended up getting first turn. This is now the bottom of turn 1. Oh no, this is top of turn 1. So he's got his units of Knights of Rima all the way on the right. He's got his line chariot with the Highborn Lancers. They're on the hill. The eagle behind. He's got his spears, his bolt thrower, his sword masters. They're in the middle. He's got his big group of archers. Now, if you look on the far left, you'll see my rangers. All my rangers were 12 inches in the field, and then they ran up, and he goes, crap. Now, there are only 5 rangers. So, here's the other side of the board. I move up as so, and here we go to shooting phase after it gets some magic buffs up. Nothing real big and major. He was stopping most of my magic this game. But those Highborn Lancers, they disappeared. Killed all but one. And over on the other side, the organ gun turned around and took out 7 of those archers, and they stuck around. And that's it. So his mouth just dropped. He's like, I can't believe you just did that. You just shredded that unit. So he goes charging in to the unit of warriors. And I chose to hold. My original thought was to flee. But I'm like, you know what? He's going to be stuck there. And I've got a unit of spears, as you can see, that if he gives me the lion's front, okay. If he gives me the lion's rear, okay. So he ends up doing that, and that's how that looks. Again, I'm sorry. So there's that picture of that charge. Again, just another picture. During his shooting phase, he manages to kill one of my handgunners, kills one of my rangers with all of his shooting, and he killed one of my spears with all of his shooting. So I broke, and I believe he had to overrun. I ended up dying in the building because I only had 1 model left, and meanwhile my great weapon teams turn around and killed the 1 remaining guy. So that left his chariot very precariously kind of stuck where it was. I'm like, you know what? Because he failed his leadership check and he had to pursue. I can live with that. He's facing the building. What do I care? My original thought process was to run Junior in and try to take him out that way. But again, the line chariot hasn't been wounded yet. It's got a prince on it. Why do I want to go deal with that thing? It can't do anything. So here's a picture of after charges during the next turn. He chased me up with his eagle, but I then charged in with my handgunners, which I don't think he fully expected me to do. I think he expected me to go ahead and charge in with the Deep Watch, and then he probably would have tried to have charged in with his Sword Masters. You know, in retrospect, as I look at it, I should have just taken the bait and just gone in. Instead, I charged my king out into the spears and my spearmen into the spears, and just did that. Again, I was going for objectives at this point. And my Deep Watch, I really wasn't worried about them. And all the units that he chose, again, overall wasn't worried about them. So over here, there's his Knights of Rima. Trying to set it up so that he can't charge the organ gun without hitting Junior. And then once he blows through Junior, he ends up hitting my engineer. Once he hits the engineer, I can turn around and hopefully get the organ gun out of the way. But, you know, be that as it may. During my shooting phase, though, my organ gun opened up with the engineer and took out his sweet and fluffy lord on the lion chariot. That thing just shredded him to bits. Over here, during my magic phase, I had reroll misses and -1 to wound up there. And just, again, there's another picture of the shooting phase killing his general. The spears and the general just made mincemeat out of that unit. Because, again, I'm strength 4 on the charge. I'm hitting and re-rolling 4s. And then wounding on 3s. The king is the king. He runs them down. And I'm feeling fairly confident at this point in time. My issue is He can easily charge in with the Swordmasters against the Spears. I can live with that. But I also have that nice, big, juicy flank. So, this is what happens when you turn around and do that. And all that because my handgunners could not kill the eagle. And the eagle stayed there with a miraculous leadership check. But, you know, these things happen. So my spears get turned around and just double whammied with the Knights of Rima and his Swordmasters there. So here's how the board looks. They're the poor spears getting beat up on. The Rangers are in, but they're having a pillow fight against the War Machine. And that's it. He doesn't have anything else that's combat effective for the rest of the turn. So I guess during my shooting phase, I turn around and so, let me go back. So he's got me there. So now it's, I believe we're now entering my turn. And during my shooting phase, I make mincemeat out of that. During his shooting phase, he kills 2 of my warriors. And they finally turn around and they finally kill that bird. And keeping my center where it was, I pivot so that I can get around that unit. And here's that. So if you look, he did a bunch of wounds to me. He did something like 8 wounds, but I did 8 wounds in return to him. Okay, where he had flank, big flank, and 3 banners. I had 2 banners and 2 ranks. So I only lost by a couple. I stuck. Leadership 10, so I think I ended up being a leadership 7 with a reroll. They stick. That now has my Deep Watch going right into the flank, which is not where you wanted them, into the Swordmasters. And my king goes right into the Great Big Chicken there. Again, Organ Gun opens up, kills even more. He's down to 4. Rangers, Great Big Pillow Fight over there. And that's it. So during that, he ends up beating and breaking my spears. The Deep Watch just open up and just are unrelenting to the Swordmasters. So that, here's a better pick. He ends up having just one nice little unit. During my turn, my Organ opens up and withers that the Knights of Rima down to 2 knights. And let's see. Why are they there? So let me just go back a few picks, because again, it was a fairly fast game, and Jay was a great player, and I felt for him. He wasn't not having good luck with dice, so I kept giving him beers to try to drown his sorrows. And we've all had games, and one of my games in the tournament was like that as well. And it's like the dice just don't like you. Eventually, the unit of archers get shut off from the Organ Gun. Those 2 remaining knights, they try to make a beeline away from my lines just to get shot down from, again, the Organ Gun. And that's all she wrote. The Rangers never do manage to kill that one War Machine all the way out there. It's a great big pillow fight. They're like dancing around the ballista. And at the end of the game, he has his BSB and his unit of his 3 Reapers, and that's it. That's all he has left. So let's go back down to the results. The results end up actually being a 19-1, because that was a lot of points when he got my spears with my BSB. And he got half, I believe, for my Deep Watch. I don't fully recall, but that was it. It was a bloodbath, so it ends up being a 19-1. To me, the MVPs of this game were the Swordmasters. They they were doing their job. The problem is you never want to get flanked, much less flanked by a unit of Deep Watch that's just tougher than nails. And of course, Deep Watch definitely was my MVP for what they were able to do. Although I probably should put spears there because that one turn when they held, that made all the difference. Not sure had they broken it would have been any different per se, but it really, really helped because it set things up for the future. And that's it. Any questions or concerns, go ahead and always feel free to reach out to me. And until next time, happy gaming.